Team Weenie Jr. for the class Informatics 554 at the University of Southern California, and we're here with our video presentation about our visualizations on crime in LA. So without further ado, let's go through our web application and see what interactive infographics that we have. So we started out by looking at this hypothesis of crime happens more in impoverished areas. Well, what we decided to look at is how does the economic state of the U.S. affect crime? Now, the economic recession of 2008 made it so that the U.S. economy saw a massive shrink from 2008 and all the way up until 2012 to 2013, and didn't make a full recovery until well into 2015. As we can see, the state of an economic recession means that the whole nation becomes more impoverished. Now, that hypothesis should state then that less crime or more crimes are likely to occur, or at least the rates of crimes in that state of the economy. So what we decided to do was we decided to take a city that we live in and also a city that has abundant access to its resources of crime data, such as Los Angeles, and take a look at that hypothesis. What we did was we found a giant database of reported crimes made by LAPD, and that database included about 1.26 million rows of reported crimes, clocking in at about 400 megabytes of data. They had about 136 unique crime codes, and we had to greatly shrink that down in order to fit all this data into a visualization on a web page, because loading 400 megabytes into your computer will crash it. So we decided to decrease the 136 unique crime codes to describe different crime types, and then condense these to about 43 categories. And in the end, we had to condense these again into about 11 groups. So what we can do is we can look on the left, and we made a D3 tree to show the actual correlations between the crime groups and which crimes are included. So as you can see, all assaults and batteries included any crime that resulted in the injury of someone, both physically and sexually. And resisting arrest here has its own section. Users can then go through and click on all these nodes, open them all up, and see whether or not the crime they were looking for falls within these categories. And this is just to show the amount of work that was put in to lower this data set from about 400 megabytes to 5 megabytes in total for the whole site. Next on our list is a visualization on the types of crimes, their rates, and their occurrence amongst each county over time within Los Angeles. This graph contains a choropleth with small multiples of slope graphs, and then a large multiple line slope graph that shows the breakdown of crimes in their total. Let's go through each individual visualization. This choropleth is a representation of the police districts within Los Angeles. Hovering over these will show you the name of the district, and by clicking them, this details panel will change to reflect the details of the selected district. As we can see, we have a legend here that shows that the more a district is, the higher rise in crime there has been, and the more blue the district's been, it has actually decreased in crime. From here, we have small multiples of slope graphs of percent difference in yearly crime rates, and hovering over these will actually highlight the district on the choropleth, and then if you click on these, they will be updated in this details panel. Red signifies that there is a positive increase in crime, and then blue signifies that there has been consistent decline in crime. As we can see, the general trend that as the nation's got developed, there's actually been more crime than less crime. Clicking on one of these will update the details panel, which shows you the total number of crimes in 2010 to 2015, total changes, percent changes, and then we also rank the types of crime by their percent changed from 2010 to 2015. Here in this multiple line slope graph here, you see the total occurrences in crime per year across all the years from 2010 to 2015 as crimes are committed. Now this gives you an opportunity to see one scale using this value to see how many crimes there are. Then here in this list of rectangles, you can see which crimes rank in the most increasing rate. Sorry, my bad. Those rectangles show you the crimes that actually have increased the most within the last 5 years. So moving on to the next visualization is our simulation. We've created a simulation where you can pick a district, and it'll show you that out of a population of specified size, we use 100 because it's a nice number, and you can see how likely is it of a chance that a crime will be committed on you and what type of crime it would be. So we can run simulations and see what different crimes would happen to us if we were a resident of the central district. And this changes for every single district. As we can see, West LA has a much lower chance of crime occurring on you. We can pick a even lower district, and we can pick Foothill. As you can see, it's very, very minimal amounts of crime, where there could be a possibility of no victim to only 2 or 3 victims out of 100. We can increase this to whatever size or decrease this to whatever we may see. Then we can change this type to crime total, where we can see out of 100 crimes what types of crimes and what percentages are they being committed at. So basically this simulates 100 crimes and tells you out of 100 crimes how many are fraudulent crimes, how many are robberies, how many are assaults and batteries, so you can see what types of crime are being committed in the area. So you can see in the Foothill area, although there's not a lot of crimes, most of them are either thefts or actually fraudulent crimes, and actually a lot of destruction of properties. Next is this comparison heat map, where we take 2 districts and we see their heat maps compared between years. So what the crime distribution looks like in 2010 versus 2015. Down here we have a dynamic list that actually updates with the count of crimes and the top crimes that rank in the area. This list, as you can see, actually dynamically updates as we pan and zoom in on the map here, and we can see the specific points that crimes have been committed. The side-by-side comparison is actually really cool because we can see and we can make inferences and see 2 districts and see how they've changed between 2010 and 2015. And we can not only do that, we can also both set these years at 2015 and take a look at crime distribution from 2 different districts and see how they fare. So we can potentially pick an urban district and we can pick a suburban district and see what type of crimes happen there and where are more likely areas for crimes to occur. So I'm going to zoom in on this Walmart, and we can see in this one intersection there are 173 counts of theft, versus if I pick some random street here, this intersection of neighborhoods, we can see that there has been 2 frauds, a theft, 2 thefts, and then a destruction of property. Didn't imagine to see that. So there's all sorts of interesting insights you can see, and all these values update as I pan around the map. Finally, we have a stacked bar chart to show how often crimes are committed based on time of month and day of the week. And we have a legend here that tells the user what color corresponds to what time of day. We can filter all these also by type of crime. And this is just to show when is most likely a crime to happen, whether it's on the weekends, during the weekdays, is it in the morning, or is it at night. What's kind of interesting is we can take a look at kidnappings and see that most kidnappings, at least in September, so 3 kidnappings actually happen at about 2 a.m., 2 or 3 a.m. on a Tuesday night. So keep your family safe on a weeknight in September. Finally, we have the last bit, which is meet the team. Becca Peer, she did most of our data wrangling in R, and she's also our resident writer, so she wrote most of the paper for us, was a tremendous help on that effort. This is me here, I'm Danny. I've done most of the design for the website, and I've coded a good amount of the JavaScript and the actual layout for this website here. Also making some tweaks and generally doing the presentations and doing this video. Next is Devin, our lead web designer and web developer. So he leads the efforts on the technical side and basically holds the glue of this together. It's good to note that our website is actually hosted on his website. So as you can see, he definitely is the most technically he definitely has the most technical expertise of us all of our team. You can click all these images, takes us to our LinkedIn's, so you can shower us with jobs if you'd like. Although I don't think we need any jobs. I think all of us are employed, so totally fine. Well, that's the end of this presentation. Again, feel free to take a look at this website and explore, interact, find your findings of crime in LA and how your neighborhood stacks against other neighborhoods, or what is going on in your neighborhood that you should know about.